Hey everyone, before we kick this episode off, I urge everyone listening to like and subscribe to our podcast, wherever you may get your podcast from. So if you listen to us on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating, or also subscribe to us on Spotify. And I urge all of our listeners to head to our website, and you can get more than just our podcast from there. We have news stories all the time there. We have feature articles there. So head to tnpmedia.au. That's tnpmedia.au. All right, without further ado, we'll get stuck into the podcast.
Talk and Power, your motorsport and motoring radio show. Now on 88.5 FM, The Valley Comes Alive. And podcasting across iTunes and talkandpower.com.au.
All right, Talk and Power Podcast, episode 208. I am Nick DiCembri. I am joined with co-host over here, Michelle Morrison, and Simon Gonzo Travellini over there. How are you?
Good, mate. Yourself?
I am going well. Michelle, yourself?
Doing great.
Bringing more props to the podcast.
Absolutely.
I've
Brought
noticed.
some jewellery in.
Some show and tell once again.
So this is platinum.
This
Yes,
is
that's
better than gold.
Yeah,
Better
let's
than
call it that. I'm happy to run with that.
That's from your win on the weekend?
It is from
you were
my
runner-up?
runner-up.
Runner-up, yeah.
Still a win, all in
It's a
all.
win. You got to the final.
Big field, and to make the finals in any class, but particularly modified, in the best, biggest event, and certainly was in crowd numbers, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's massive.
Yeah.
Proof that
Absolutely
you
massive.
don't need $100,000 of prize money to bring in a big crowd. Chris.
Ooh. Shots fired there.
The crowd was huge, but across a 2-day event, it's always a little bit nerve-wracking now that it goes back to elimination rounds, because our first round was at 2:00, and to think that you could have been packed up and all over by then. We were quite fortunate actually that we got a qualifier on Sunday morning, but there has been other 2-day events where they'll just go straight into elimination rounds. So to be able to make a final and to be able to race all through the night in front of that massive crowd, yeah, it's still so special.
Yeah, it was. It was.
You see, that's when you reward the winners.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Do you guys think that the reason the crowd is so big at this event and has been big at the Top Fuel events recently is because we've got a local WA team in Cole Putland, and the West Australian drag racing fans have really gotten behind Putland?
Oh, he had such a huge fan base.
Massive.
Our pits were directly opposite Kyle's, and they were just consistently full, and just seeing the crowd just stand up and be, cheering for Kyle when he did his passes and some fantastic wins that he had throughout the weekend. It was just amazing to see, and you just feel so, proud. Of what he's made with his drag racing, and because of course I used to race against him in modified, both T bucket drivers, and it's awesome. I couldn't imagine it happening to a more deserving family.
And he had some tough competitors too.
And
Wayne Newby.
Yeah, he had Newby twice.
And that's an Australian champion there.
Yeah.
tough competitors with a huge experience as well, so
and part of the mega team, the Santo Reposada mega team.
Yeah.
So much experience from the drivers, so much experience from the teams behind them, so they just did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
But the winner was Peter Zabiris, and we love Peter here, don't we?
Hey, did you hear? We love Peter because he's cool in so many ways. But there's a video going around of his crew talking about the difference between. Oh no, it's not the difference, but special things about a top fueler. And one of his crew made a very interesting point. He said, "We make more horsepower from one cylinder in our top fueler than both of our V8 supercars put together." So if that's not shots fired.
Sometimes it's good to do those comparisons.
But it's true.
The crowd understand that level.
I thought about that. I said, hang on. You know what? He's right.
Yeah. 12,000 horsepower.
There you go. So, it was an interesting social media post that they've got up, Peter Zibris's team. And, it's just comparisons. The fuel lines on their car is bigger than most exhaust pipes on your family car.
Yeah.
That's another thing. There's a whole lot of them. But that one caught my eye. I was like, it's...
Yeah, I believe they run a 3-inch fuel line.
Yeah.
And I think it's 120 or 140 gallons per minute.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the fuel. They have 2 fuel pumps on those things.
Yeah.
Incredible.
They're great facts.
Ah.
They're really great facts. I love those comparisons because it's relatable.
Did you guys know? Did you guys know that if you got a 60-litre drum of fuel and took the cap off, you could not empty it as fast as a top fueler drinks through that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
believe
crazy,
that.
Just incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So, congratulations to Peter Zibris and Damien Harris running up at the same event and resetting, correct me if I'm wrong, the mile an hour record at the Motorplex.
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe
so
that is the
congratulations.
case.
519 kilometres an hour. Sorry, I do not have that written down in miles an hour. I don't know what it was.
And congratulations to the representative.
Yeah.
Without those guys, Top Fuel would not be as strong as it is. Santo puts and his kids, they put their heart and soul into Top Fuel and Australian drag racing and support Australian drag racing. I mean, they could be anywhere in the world racing. They choose to be here.
Yeah.
So hats off to them.
It is pretty cool. I love seeing those guys come over. And look, there was 6 cars that came over this year. Well, 5, sorry. And Kyle's made the 6th entry. It's great to see Lamartina's back as well.
Yep.
They've had a bit of a break, and Phil
Absolutely.
explained why.
Yep.
So
The workshop move.
But
Rocky's wedding.
Yeah, but also bringing the car back home as well. Well,
Yep.
home is their farm. Bringing the car back there, restructuring the team slightly as well. New staff, training new guys, and just keeping control on that. And I think his obligations to the farm, the carrot farm, are on the increase as well. And I don't want to be a stickler, but everyone calls him Australia's biggest carrot grower. He's actually not. So anyway, I'll just leave it at that.
For the record.
He's not. We have a carrot grower over here who we believe is bigger. Anyway, never mind.
Do you think we could get him in a Top Fuel car?
No chance.
No chance.
They wouldn't. Those guys, I don't want to disclose who they are, but those guys wouldn't want to know the front end of it, the front or the back of the Top Fueler. So anyway, and I think if Phil is listening, he'll know who I'm talking about as well. We've had a chuckle about that in the past. Top Door Slammer. Wow. That's where the war raged in Top Door Slammer.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about in Top Door Slammer. I don't even know where to start and end, to be honest.
Double bulb?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm sure it was an accident. I'm not saying that it was, but John Zapier double bowled Lisa, and Lisa won that race. That was in the second round. So congrats to her. Top qualifier of the event was John Zapier. In the end, but
We didn't see a 50. I predicted a 50.
you weren't far off, but they were good 60s.
I think there was a 63 that I saw. I was only in the crowd for one of them, admittedly.
Yeah, I think
63.
it was a bit hot. You were saying that
was hot.
It was hot, yeah.
It was hot. It was
Strange. It was really strange. It felt like it was cooling down, but then the weather data just showed otherwise. It was.
the sou'wester we're so used to at the Motorplex just didn't eventuate that night. It was quite warm. I was in shorts and a t-shirt the whole night. And
Is that because of the Chinese warships off the coast?
the submarines?
Heating up down there?
But congratulations, we had him on our 200th episode. Brody Zapier taking the win in Top Door Slammer. That's his first gold Christmas tree in Door Slammer, so congratulations to him.
And congratulations to Steve Aldridge for running up.
Mate, they were so consistent, the Aldridges. They were there. They were just always there. That car was going good 80s, and I think I saw him do a 70 as well. And they didn't drop a race. They were there when they needed to be there. And look, they weren't far off from a gold Christmas tree as well. So congratulations to Steve and the whole Crown security team there. I thought they did a magnificent job in the Barracuda. And it seems like they're getting on top of it. it was just good to see them run so well. Jeremy Callahan, really unfortunate incident, but I don't think... did you see the car afterwards?
No.
I did. I had a good look at it afterwards, and look, to be honest, I don't know much about carbon fibre, but I'm sure it was just an easy repair.
Yeah.
The car didn't touch the wall at all. Went on its roof, just slid on its roof. It had obviously worn the roof down quite substantially and cracked part of the rear quarter as well. But the car never touched the wall at all, so I'm sure they'll get that fixed in no time. And it's a bit sad to see Jeremy come out here for the first time and have that happen in round one, but I'm sure they'll learn from it.
From what I saw, the car quickly went left and then just overcorrection.
I'm not sure what broke in the car. Something broke in the car.
Yeah.
We saw something come out the back. I don't know what it was, but it certainly wasn't driver error. He did a really good job to keep it off the wall. I've got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
As I said, it went over on its roof and just slid on the roof. Didn't roll at all, and just that minor crack in the rear quarter and the roof. That car's up and running in no time. Obviously, they'll have the motor down and back up when these cars go over. Sorry, you were going to say something?
No, I'm
Top Fuel bike.
Yeah.
That was probably the disappointment of the night. Everyone was waiting for this 5-second pass from Damien, and he just didn't quite get there. There was always some sort of problem, or the bike just didn't want to. He went 620s, but I don't think he didn't go any quicker than that. So, but congratulations.
That is the joy of nitro.
Yeah. So the top fuel bike was a lot of issues. I think we saw a lot of bikes breaking down and not just running, not getting the tune up right. And Damien, to his credit, I think they were on it, but they just weren't quite there. So we have to wait again for a
top effort by Wayne McGuinness to make the finals.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, and tough field. That is a tough field.
It was a tough field. Yep. So, and congratulations to Damien on top qualifying there as well. Hey, we can't go, comp eliminator. How awesome was that as well? We saw Connor McClure run a 6-1 in qualifying.
That would make that the, I think it already was, but it is certainly cemented as being Australia's quickest small block sedan.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that?
I think so, yes. Yep.
You would have had the numbers to back it up to make that a new official index?
I was talking to Murray O'Connor the other day about the index system, and it has changed
I'm not sure how
within
it
the
carries
last couple of
over.
years. Yeah, it's... I think that whatever the index is, when someone runs quicker, they halve the difference and take that away from it.
Yeah.
So it never gets to the national record unless, they do it infinity times, I guess.
Yep.
But look, just, great to see the McClures take another win. John Ferguson with the runner-up, and the top qualifier, ironically, was Michael Buckley in the RX-7, the Rotomotion RX-7.
Red lit first round.
Tragic.
Yeah.
I know Mick, he would be beating himself up over it. He has worked so hard. That whole combination, the car, everything, it's really been an effort of himself and his friends and the whole Rotomotion team, including Todd Stacey, who works there as well. The car is definitely not, like a pro mod car. It is very much an RX-7, and Michael and the guys have, basically built that thing up over the years, and it's just fantastic to see him consistently in the sixes now. And it's a shame, but that's racing.
It happens to the best of us, and of course there's just a huge amount of pressure that goes with racing at the Westernationals.
Definitely. Super stock, Jake Chasty. Well done. It was great to see Jake back in the car. We haven't seen Jake in the car for some time. 3 years.
He sort of rolls it out like his dad used to and wins the event.
Well, look, they'll have you believe that a lot of time and effort went into that, but it's been 3 years. I think they freshened up the motor as well, I'm led to believe.
They probably just washed it.
So it's interesting to see them just roll up. As you said, I think they qualified second, but only just to Errol Quartermain. So congratulations to Jake and Todd Stacey as well. That was an awesome final, actually. That was a really, really good final. And it was great to see some old, I don't want to say old families. Let me put it this way. Let me rephrase all that. Some families that have been in drag racing from Ravenswood days. That's including
all three.
Yeah, all three go back to Ravenswood and have been racing. Their families, their fathers, have been racing for a long time. It was great to see them dominate in super stock.
It was, look, I agree. I love seeing those three surnames.
Yep.
Because you're right. The families have been involved from the beginning pretty much. Mm-hmm. And Jeff puts a lot of time and effort in with Andra. If it wasn't for the Staceys, there'd be a lot of Rotaries parked up because the amount of work that both Todd and his dad have done over the years. And Errol, I mean, we all love Errol. He's the epitome of the Aussie battler.
Yeah, definitely. Comp bike winner Chris Allen there. Well done to him. Runner-up was Michael Hollister. And top qualifier there was Chris Allen as well. So well done to them.
Shocked to not see Rangs in there. Shocked.
I think
I'm happy for these guys, but just a big shock. I'm so used to reading this.
Yeah, you're right. And I haven't seen the full results to see where he ended up and where he left the competition, but
yeah,
a huge congratulations to Chris.
Yeah, definitely. Top sportsman and never fails to disappoint. That I love top sportsman. Yvette Gregg really did a great job there. Roger Morehouse just kept going rounds and rounds, and those guys really.
You know what I can't believe, right? With the consistency of Jason Lippy and Albie Backranage, right? To see two nitrous cars in the final.
I think Jason's departure was one that was I think he broke out or may have red lit. It was a really minor error and that saw him depart. But look, congratulations to these guys because they were there when they needed to be there.
But you always hear about, nitrous is inconsistent, nitrous this, nitrous that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're right. And these two guys and girls, Yvette, did a magnificent job.
Just checking to see if Brody replied to my message.
Fair enough. We've asked Brody a question, so... Moving along, Supercharged Outlaws, top qualifier there, good friend of ours, Vince Belladonna. Unfortunately, went out in the first round. In the end, are we surprised? Casey McClure.
Yeah, the double up.
That's a three.
Third. Patrick.
Yeah.
No, I mean the double up for the McClures.
Oh, yeah, double up.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's their third double up as well. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen them. Before.
I think it's three. I think it's the third double up. So congratulations to Casey and Peter Appleby as well, going rounds.
Yeah,
Pete.
great to see Peter Appleby. He has added so much to the sport, so much colour to the sport in Western Australia. The cars are always awesome looking, and he's just a great guy.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, awesome.
Okay, do you want to abstain yourself from this one, Michelle?
Do you want to talk
Can I leave the room? Be kind, boys.
The battle continues.
The battle does go on. Only 2 rounds left now. So winner was Paul Garbellini against Michelle Morrison. Made it to the final. You top qualified.
Got the medal there
top
to
qualified.
prove it.
Nice, beautiful medal from NDRC. My first one. Lovely.
Look at that. That's a magnificent medal too.
It is. It's a fantastic
trophy
medal.
is
You must
magnificent.
have all the top qualifying medals.
I think all bar one.
What happened to Car wouldn't start?
No,
No, I'm only joking.
no. Look, credit where credit's due. Paul Ryan, I think, top qualified last Westernationals when he came out with his front engine dragster with the supercharger on there.
Yep.
Happily sat in my deserving second position for that round.
Yeah. No, well,
So
congratulations.
where are we at with the points?
Oh, we're Tuesday, and give me a moment to grieve. I will look at the
My wife
points.
says stuff like that.
I will look at the points on the 12th?
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
On the last meeting, when I have points and a half rewarded on the last meeting,
Yep.
the last event. Is it the 12th of April? I said
Yeah, it is
the
12th.
date wrong
Yeah.
for the last, in my acceptance speech, so I better make sure I have my dates right. But it is points and a half for the last round, so I will look at the points then.
For those of you at home that are not following this, you need to get down to the Motorplex and watch this incredible battle that is playing out in Modified Eliminator between Paul Garbellini and our Michelle Morrison. It has been tit for tat, all the way through the season. And, I think it's going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, it absolutely will. It absolutely will.
You can see part of this battle if you go back to the replay on 7 Plus. All of our listeners are pretty technical. Go back to 7 Plus, scrub forward to, I don't know, to the, into finals. You'll find it. You'll work it out. Anyway, we'll move on. Super Sedan, Kyle Higgins
Higo.
in his
Yes.
XY, beautiful.
Two
looking
from two.
car. That's two Fords there as well. Michael North and his
it is,
XB.
but didn't he go win the last meeting?
Yeah, I think so.
He
Yep.
did.
Yep.
Between him and Bo,
Yes.
Yeah.
the Higgins families is absolutely dominating.
There's
this
three
season.
now. There's a third car that licensed before this meeting.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yep, they're just weeding out the bugs at the moment. But yes, Michael North runner-up,
Yep.
and Terry Phillips taking the top qualifying spot.
Super Street. It was the Garbellini double header. So Lisa Garbellini in the VY Commodore. I think it's a VY or VZ. So they're going to. If I got that wrong.
Listen back to episode number
Z. It's a Z. It's a Z, actually. It is a Z, isn't it? In taking the win there in Super Street. And really big congratulations to this young kid, Daniel Brezic, as well. His father, Johnny's been racing on and off over the years. So congratulations to them. And Gav. No, I got that wrong.
No, that's his uncle.
Oh, uncle, sorry. Oh, I thought that was
Easy mistakes,
Daniel was
mate.
his...
No, that's the car. That is
Yeah.
the car, but that's his uncle. Daniel's a top bloke, absolute champion of a guy, and Gavin Donnelly taking the top qualifying spot.
And look, I have to say, I lost against Paul, but God, I'm happy for Lisa and Paul to both be taking home a gold Christmas tree, because
They're just awesome people.
They are awesome.
That's
people.
cool. Like, to be able to celebrate that win together and
I
the
was at
emotion behind that. Like,
I was at a
that's
workshop
awesome.
this afternoon, and there was a guy there asking me, why do you think drag racing has these big lulls during the season? Obviously, this is a big event, huge crowd both days, incredible. Awesome outcome for the Motorplex. And I said to him, because we cater for the one-run wonders these days, right? The guys with the turbo LSs and so on, the radial guys, they go down there, do one run, put it on Facebook, heroes for 24 hours, 15 minutes, whatever, and then you never see them again. But then you got people like the Garbellinis that go to every meeting, that actually drove these cars around Australia.
Did their own sick week.
That's incredible. It's beyond sick week. It's like sick month. They drove around Australia and went round to round in the car. Like, that's Super Street there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
100%
so
Super
cool.
Street. So I always like to see them in the winner's circle, because I know how hard they work at it and how much they give up for the sport.
Yep.
And that's the big difference. If we had more people like them, those bleachers would be full every meeting.
Yeah, for sure.
Just
100%.
knowing the support that they give each other, because obviously, like, I'm in a similar, if not the same position with myself and Trent. There's a lot of husband-wife races. Not many of them that are actually racing together at the same time. And we pulled around into the staging lanes for the finals, and I went to go over to Paul's car and he wasn't there, and they said, oh no, he's down with Lisa, and I hadn't realised she made the final, and I was so excited for her, and I was like, so this is both of them, and I was like, the excitement was there, and then I was like, oh, I'm standing in the way. Like, I'm standing in the way of this. It's cool. I'm so happy for them.
Yeah. So you're going to let Trent race again?
I would love for Trent to be racing.
Did you hear that, Trent?
He knows. He knows. I just need to find someone equally as good as my husband in case his attention needs to leave my side to focus on his own racing, which is fair enough. But look, he's got his apprentice there with my nephew Ethan, who is a sponge, just soaking in all the information he can.
So that's your nephew that was there?
Yeah, so my nephew Ethan's on my team, and he's been with me since last season. And he is just so dedicated and eager to learn, and it's been really great. I've got a family crew, really do. It's great.
Cool. Mod bike, Tony Ambrosini, well done to him, taking that mod bike there against Paul de Klerk. Top qualifier there was Justin Townsend. Junior Dragster, I think this is the Canoolis?
Yes, it's John Canoolis' son.
John's son, Nixon.
This is the next generation.
Well, we saw even Phil and Sarah Lamartina's youngest son racing on the weekend as well in Junior Dragster. I think he went out early. I can't remember his name. My apologies, but he was racing as well. So in Junior Dragster, Nixon Cannuli up against Nathaniel Kuchel, runner up there, and Jesse Martin, top qualifier in Junior Dragster.
That's Steve Martin's.
I think so. Yeah,
daughter. Yeah.
Yep. And in Junior Bike, love Junior Bike.
I know.
This is an awesome.
They're bikes.
That's what I said. There's nothing junior about Junior Bike.
Yeah.
I love it. If you haven't seen Junior Bike, go watch it. It is awesome. Make sure, don't leave the stands when the Junior Dragsters come out. Watch them. Because there's nothing, these bikes are awesome.
Yeah, and I've spoken about this before. I was at the track when these guys were doing their first passes on the bikes, doing their licensing, and seeing their confidence grow and seeing their skill progress as they've become more comfortable with the bikes. It's really awesome to see, and you can really see that they're really enjoying it. Not to say that they wouldn't have been enjoying it from the start, but of course when you're learning you have to take a lot in. Understandably there'd be a lot of nerves, but the smiles on their faces now, and I love seeing it. And I'm not sure if I've mentioned before, but Cleo, my 4.5-year-old, she wants to be racing a junior bike.
There you go.
Yeah, she's wiped the junior dragster now. She wants to do junior bike.
But you've had them on bikes, so you've had them on electric bikes. So I kind of get it. And if you were brought up on bikes, I get the appeal to junior bike. I really do.
With saying that though, sometimes naturally, and with Cleo, it was actually before she got on her electric bike, she naturally just was attracted to bikes, and it wasn't anything that was really, she wasn't exposed to bikes more before that started, and it was something just going down, being at the drags, we would be at the speedway as well. She just was really drawn to bikes, and so that's what captured her attention, and that's where her passion's forming around.
Yeah.
Now she's got her electric bike and she's loving that. She's hitting the limiter and we need to step her up. But it won't be too long until she'll be racing on the drag strip.
Yeah, no. Anyway, it was an awesome event.
Did you actually read the junior bike winners out?
Oh, sorry, no, I didn't.
We better get them
Riley Kilvington, thank you, Simon, taking the win there, and runner-up Tyler James, runner-up there, and top qualifier Seth Jarvis. So congratulations to them.
On the topic of juniors, I, as our listeners know, and as you guys know, 10 years old now is the starting point in Western Australia, and there is talk that it may be national soon. I am thinking about putting a rule proposal in for a new class. This isn't a joke. You're looking at me like, we can talk about this.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I'm interested.
To a speed-limited class,
Yep.
right? That will be based on the half-scale bodies that are available. I've found so many bodies. It's incredible. There's T-bucket bodies, 32, 34 forward. There's Porsches. There's Camaros. There's all sorts of half-scale bodies available.
I've seen some of those little ones.
Yeah. So what I'm proposing is to 330, right? Not to 660, to 330, with a claimer on the engine to stop people modifying the engines. The engines need to be dead standard other than air cleaner and exhaust. And because they're governed, the motors I'm talking about, the Honda clones.
The GX 160 that's been
The
cloned.
GX 200.
And that's been cloned a million times now.
Yeah.
By
So
Fan,
they're rev limited
Monson.
to 3,600 RPM. So we can get a sprocket size that speed limits them to, say, 60 kilometres an hour. Use the junior dragster style roll cage rules, but have, something that's other than a junior dragster, and only races to 330 foot. So I'm going to try and put something together. If there's anyone that listens to the show, because I'm aiming at this because I believe it is really unfair that kids can go and race motocross or go-karts from 6 or 7 years old, but they have to wait till 10 to race at the drags.
We're really going to miss out on our future generation races by having them wait until they're 10 to be able to commit into and start the junior drags, junior bike. But also you have to look at it from the other angle. We're also going to lose our adult competitors because they're going to then have to be committing themselves to their child's hobbies, which can't be drag racing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Drag racing is something that the parents and kids can do together at the same event, at the same venue. But I'm already thinking of my predicament when my girls will start doing weekend sports and how I'm going to divide my time or how at peace I would feel with prioritising my sport over theirs. I feel guilty. Do I try and encourage them to go for a winter sport? But we're going to miss out with this, and I wish that there was another way than increasing the age. And it's a shame to hear that age restriction is potentially going to be raised throughout.
I think
the
everyone's
country.
scared of the speed. So I think if we halve the distance again and we lower the speed to, say, 60 kilometres an hour, we get rid of the variable drive clutch and all of that stuff that they have on the juniors.
But the stuff that you're talking about, is so readily available as well.
Yeah,
You know
and
what
it's
I mean?
cheap.
Yeah,
It's cheap.
It's cheap.
And
It is cheap.
I'm going to talk to the people from Jono and from the people from Honda about doing a special deal for the drag races for the motors. And like I said, it'll be a claimer class. So if you think someone's modifying their engine and they're running outside of the rules, you'll be able to, and the governing body or the track will be able to do this as well. You'll be able to say, here's the whatever the amount is, $300, $500, whatever for the motor, and they unbolt it from their car there and then. The claimer, I believe that if you're trying to limit the cost of racing, claimer classes are the way to do it. But if there's anyone out there listening to the show that's interested in getting involved in putting this together, reach out to us. I'm going to try and, I don't know which rule submission date I'll get time to get this put together. But I want to make sure they're super safe because I'm going to put my own kids in them.
Yep.
And they're going to be speed limited and they're going to race to 330 instead of 660.
And I need to drop that clone that I've got off as well. I've got a GX 200 clone for you. I'll drop that
There we
off.
go.
And that way
We'll do the TNP prototype.
But they're so, they're everywhere. They're literally everywhere, those engines. Look, if your local fish and chip shop sell them.
Let's see if they do
Not
a
literally,
half-scale
but-
XY body. All right, should we have a break?
We should have a break, and we've got more to talk about after the break. But we'll take a short one here, and when we get back, it'll be all things supercars from Eastern Creek. If we got time, lights out 16 World Series of Pro Mod. All right. All right, since the break, we've got a guest who joined us as well, Craig from Agent Anorak. He'll be staying on a bit for our next episode. Yep. We'll discuss your website, but we'll talk about that a bit later on in episode 209. Hey, World Series, feel free to jump in at any stage, Craig, if you've got some input as well, or you got any questions. World Series of Pro Mod was run again on the weekend. I really wish this event wasn't on the same weekend as the Westernationals. Can we ring up
Wes Buck?
Wes Buck and say, Wes, can we move this? Because this is not working for me. Having it, but I did see all the eliminations.
You got to ring JT.
JT?
Ring JT, yeah. Don't talk to Wes.
Okay, JT.
He doesn't know what's going on.
JT's the man. But I did watch all the eliminations. There's a good highlights package. You can go and watch that, and even some of the qualifying as well. This was one hell of a race. It was the third and final round of the inaugural Drag Illustrated Winter Series. So the previous races were the Snowbird Nationals and the US Street Nationals. And taking out the overall championship was Ken Quattruccio. We'll talk about Ken in a minute because he was a thorn in our sides for all Australians, Australia-wide, and ruined our hope. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. He seems like a nice guy. Shouldn't be talking like that. But Ken Quattruccio qualified fifth. Mark Mickey, there is no stopping Mark Mickey. You cannot stop that man. He was that confident, Simon. He was that confident that he didn't front for the fifth, or he did front for the fifth qualifier, but saw the other cars and said, nah, she'll be right, mate. Got this. Got this.
Yeah,
Nick, it was pretty close, though, with his 375, 357 with a 5, with second qualifier 358 with a 3.
Look at that mile an hour.
Yeah, that mile per hour is significant
It's
against
up
that
there.
ET.
But anyway, Mark Mickey, I got this covered, boys. Don't worry about it. No, look, I mean, I'm sure maybe there was a problem with the car. Shouldn't be talking out of school, but it's interesting that he didn't front. He did front. He was there. I saw the car, but they decided not to put it in the beams. Didn't need to. We're all good. I guess the argument is if you're going in a chip draw, well, what's the point?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know. I did want to make a comment about this, though. We've all seen these Fuel Tech, Proline, etc. videos, these turbo cars, even the Sorceress, 5,300, 5,600, all this sort of horsepower. And what was in the final?
2 screw-blown cars. 2 beautiful screw-blown cars. Our man Stevie Fast Jackson and Steve King, both in Chevrolet cars. One was a C7 Corvette. The other one is Stevie Fast Camaro. Now, you do the maths, guys and girls, sorry. You do the maths there. Look at that. You just look at the numbers there. You can see that those, you could throw a blanket over both cars as they cross the line. When you do the maths there, you can see the margin of victory was the 4th decimal place, basically. That was the final in the World Series of Pro Mod. Big shout out to Aussie John Ricker, who qualified 20th with a 3.620 at 207 mile an hour.
The thing with Johnny Ricker is the week before.
We'll talk about that in a moment, but we'll just finish off here. As I said, Ken Quattruccio secured his inaugural Drag Illustrated Winter Series championship. He actually won that by taking out John Ricker in the second round. And these two were joined at the hips for the last couple of weeks. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a moment. Great win to Steve King. He was kind of the underdog in this event.
Yeah, I was going to say, everyone knows Steve Jackson, and now everyone knows who Steve King is.
Well, that's right. And if you look at that list, he didn't even qualify in the top 10. But that's the beauty of the chip draw.
But Johnny Ricker's performance, I mean, to qualify 20th, it was a 32-car field.
Yep.
But there was like 70 cars on the property.
No, I think it was 82.
Well, there you go. 82 cars
Can
to
you
qualify
imagine-
20th.
Can you imagine pitting 82 cars? 82 pro mod teams, so 82 John Zappiers, 82 Daniel Gregory. Well, no, they were a two-car team. Sorry.
Well, I mean, so Xavier's now.
So 40, yeah, that's true. So, sorry, 41 of those sort of, like, that is phenomenal.
Yeah, yep.
I would love to get over to this event one day, and you can make a real week out of it, because the week before, Lights Out 16, if you haven't watched this, I urge you to watch this. Have you seen the race, the final?
No, yes, I have. But what I was going to say is, so in case you didn't know, Johnny Ricker, who has just been kicking goals for Australia, like unbelievable, made it all the way to the finals. Where I was going earlier with the turbo car reference was, we've seen him make 5,300, 5,600, all these ridiculous horsepower figures. Correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny Ricker's screwblown car only made 3,200, yeah?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Right. Now, admittedly, it was hot when they dynoed it, but, I mean, that's 2 events, 3 cars, all screwblown.
Yeah, exactly. And look, congratulations to Johnny Ricker. That final, I urge anyone to, we'll post it. It is posted on our Talk and Power Facebook page. If your hairs don't stand up on the back of your neck when you're watching that race, but it's not just the visual, it's the commentary.
Yeah.
That commentary is second to none.
And what was the other car in the final? With
Procharger. There's a Procharger.
Where are the turbo cars?
Kenny Quattruccio's is a Procharger car, and just amazing performance. And John Ricker did really well. I mean, he ran with him.
There was nothing in it.
Yeah, Ken had that little bit more. And did you feel like there was some sort of?
I think it was a 47 to a 49.
Yeah. There was absolutely nothing in it. Yeah.
So he really did just. Made every Australian drag racer feel so proud that, and he's a really nice guy too. He's just a really, I've had business dealings with him. Just a gentleman.
We get so excited about other, Australians doing well in the world of sport. It would have been so nice to have this on the news.
Yeah,
the wider media picking this up, because if you listen to the commentary, they are screaming down the microphone, say it loud, say it proud, USA, because they felt like they were being invaded. Who's this Aussie? He's getting all the way to the final. And these are these Australian guys making it into the final. This is our race.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair to Donald Long as well, I think he's a big fan of building the sport internationally.
Yep.
And he did himself some huge favours. I'm not sure if they got the hammer out. I don't know. I'm not aware of if the hammer came out. But I just went on to say here as well, like, can you imagine if Johnny did win the $40,000 US? That's like $2.34 million in Australian money.
Yeah.
So congratulations to them. That was just a magnificent win. And as I said, go watch the video. You'll be proud to be Aussie.
Nick, if he did win, I know what he's like. He probably would have donated it to a charity.
Yeah.
He's just that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Well deserved. And I hope he has all the success over there.
Yep. Yeah, no, congratulations, John. It's a magnificent achievement. Hey, while we've got time here, Supercars from Eastern Creek, I wrote if time permits. It was a 3-race sweep from Cam Waters. Well done to him and the Tickford crew.
That was...
I love that race, especially the Saturday night one. It was just, he literally pipped Brock on the line there. And like the memes that were going around, actually I was sending them out, but anyway, I just loved the fact that it looked like a horsepower win, you know what I mean? Like got him, he was behind him on the last corner, side drafted him. Whether he did side draft him or not, I really don't know. Maybe, do you think, if you look back in the video, Will Brown is just out of shot, but I don't think Will Brown did Brock any favours. He could have got in his slipstream and gave him the push as well, but it didn't happen. But anyway, there was a great race.
this for some of the negatives now. I don't want to dwell on them too much, but Supercars really needs to exit this New South Wales opening contract. So the opening round of Supercars needs to be held in New South Wales. That's the contract. That's in the contract with the New South Wales government. The sooner we can get out of that, the better, because this was embarrassing to open the event. Like, it was literally in front of no people. A lot of the media have come out and said, "Oh, well, this sport is now a TV sport. You know, it's for the TV instead." It's very hard for me to swallow that, because you're pitching this race to the WA government in 2 years' time as a tourism event to get people into the city. Yet in the same breath, you're saying this is becoming a TV sport.
Yes.
I don't think you can have
but I mean, if you don't have the bums on seats, then, you know, do you believe the ratings?
But then to have it on a Friday
ratings
night
it was terrible.
in Eastern Sydney, you know, it's Sydney traffic. How?
Yeah.
But
Do
even
you
the
have
crowd
the
on the
day-
Saturday and the Sunday was terrible. It was no better. It was just a bad look for...
You know what, Nick? If they had VL turbos racing, mate, place would have been packed.
Anyway, and look, there was no excuses for last weekend. There was no excuses. There was no AFL. The NRL hadn't kicked off yet in Vegas. There was no cricket, and the NBL was limited. You know what I mean? We have up until 2 hours ago, we had the Wildcats in the finals, but the NBL.
Oh, they got their stadium back?
No, they lost tonight, so I'm not happy about that. I'm really Chris Golding. Yeah. Oh, anyway, that's another story. But yeah, the opening race of the Supercar event needs to be a marquee event. Now, Newcastle pulling out.
Only one marquee. I think that's what they've got now.
6x6 at the Darren Field days. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me that this event's not a marquee event. It really
Didn't
doesn't.
they used to start the season with Bathurst?
They did last year. That
Yeah.
was even worse.
Was worse.
That was even worse. The Bathurst 500 was terrible attendance. They need to get out of this contract with New South Wales government as soon as possible, and perhaps move it to, even if they can hold back and kick off at the Formula One, perhaps that's another possibility. You look at the race of NASCAR, the Clash at Bowman Gray, like
It was packed. And that's a sport that gets criticised because they say it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And that was, that was packed. But anyway, look, I mean, as I said, I don't think you can have the argument both ways. I don't think you can say, oh, it's a TV sport, and yet come to our government here in WA and say, put your hand out wanting millions of dollars because you're saying that you're going to get all these tourists in.
Absolutely.
Can't have it both ways. Anyway.
So do we know how long they have that contract
I
for?
think it's another couple of years.
If they can't get out of it,
Well,
what can they
Be at
do?
Sydney
What are some
Motorsport Park
suggestions?
next year.
It's a Labor government, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so they might be broke in a year or two anyway.
After spending all their money on.
So in Sydney, there's not many. In New South Wales, we had Newcastle. That was the opening round.
Yeah.
Newcastle Council pulled out of that. So we're limited to Bathurst and we're limited to Sydney Motorsport Park. So this was at Sydney Motorsport Park. But
What could Sydney Motorsport Park do to be able to draw that crowd in more?
shift the timing to better time during the. I don't think a night race works in Sydney.
That's
that
all right. I
time
told
of
you.
year.
VL turbos, maybe some RX3s.
But yeah, I don't think a night race
And
works.
GTRs.
Bring them back.
That's it.
In answer to your question, I think the timing needs to change.
They should do roll racing instead.
So I haven't been shy about admitting that I don't follow supercars too closely. They were all night races across
Yeah.
the weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's definitely, being so restricted with nighttime racing, I just think of it as the family aspect. Eastern
Yeah.
Creek is not... It is far from certain parts of Sydney. I suppose
Yeah.
it's close to others, but when we've raced over at Eastern Creek before, it's in its own separate little city area to be able to get the traffic through there. If you're restricting yourself to nighttime racing and you're trying to expand your audience to then not only serve your demographic of one area but opening that up to families, you're competing with kids' bedtimes.
And
Yeah.
it smells too.
Does it? I've never
Yeah.
been to SMP.
Well, the drag racing track smells.
Is there a tip?
There's a
close by?
tip there, yeah. And
Yeah.
they spray water on it constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
You know, you realise it once and then it just becomes it is what it is.
nostrils
It's not a
get
lasting
weak.
memory for me.
Smell it over the methanol anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, we'll bring the show to an end here. Friday, what's coming up? Friday, 7th of March. That's this Friday. The Mobile One Australian Late Model Championship. It is basically late model week at the Motorplex. So it is Friday night and Saturday night is the late model championship. Then on Wednesday we have the late model hump day hustle. Then on the 14th we have 14th and 15th we have the late model nationals. And then on the Saturday we have the Sprint Car Gold Cup as well, and kids are free on the Saturday.
Isn't it funny that that's sponsored by Asphalt Recyclers?
I did not pick up on that. There you go. It is.
You'd think that they would sponsor
you're-
the track.
Ah,
I mean, there's
there's
a
a bit
bump
of-
there that needs a
If
bit of
you're
asphalt.
ripping up your asphalt and you're just going to have a dirt oval track, they will recycle your asphalt for you.
That's a good point. Then it's 22nd of March. It's the Nitro Slam Part 2, Nitro Max Top Door Slam and Top Fuel Motorcycle. We'll see Michelle down there as well. Then
The battle continues.
The battle will
Yeah, here we
continue.
go.
Then Sunday, the 6th of April, we are heading to Max in Pinjarra. You should come to that as well, Craig.
Which one's this?
Max in Pinjarra. Pinjarra on 6th of April. It is one of the best car shows you will go to. It's
Very
a little
cool.
secret. It's not a secret. I shouldn't say that. Richie will get upset with me. It's not a secret. It's
secret
an
we want
awesome
everyone to know.
event. I love it.
When are we
Yeah,
getting
I'm
Richie
looking
back
forward.
on the show?
We should get him back.
We should get him before the show.
Well, I always interview him at Max. If
Yeah.
you listen to the Max episode, he's always on. So we get an update from Richie there as well. Are you planning on coming to that as
Yep.
well?
I'll come down, I'll bring the car, have the car on display. Haven't told Trent yet, but now he knows.
Maybe we
I'm
can,
committed now.
maybe we can start it up as well. How cool would that be? I think Richie will be on board with that.
I think that I need to get permission from Andra, but
Oh, really?
we could put
Okay,
in for
all
that.
right.
No worries.
Okay. All right. Anyway. Are you going to come as well, Simon? Bring the XY down at Max?
Start her off if I
I'm trying
can't.
to get the whole. I'm trying to convince Linda and the kids to come as well for that one. The kids will come, but I don't know. Linda's like a bit-
Nick, you have got zero chance of my wife letting me go anywhere.
Okay.
What have you
right.
done?
The 6th of April.
You've been on
is-
house arrest for a while.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I will be there. It's one of my favourite car shows, that one there. And Craig, I'll touch base with you.
Fantastic, sounds
But
great.
it's a really good show, that one.
12th of April.
12th of April. It is the grand final of the drags, the blown alcohol jet dragsters. Cannot wait for that one as well. The story will come to an end.
Yes, so it's going to be points and a half, and this is ultimately where I think we're going to see
Me
With-
crying or smiling. Yet to be determined.
the battle.
You know
battle
what?
Yeah.
Maybe
between-
we shouldn't start it up the week before. Maybe just leave it as is.
Did
Maybe
the-
I shouldn't be flying it down.
I will say this. The jet dragsters are on. The jet dragsters are on.
Thank you, Simon.
You want to elaborate further on
Well, you know, sometimes you get a nice film of kerosene on that track. And
that? Which will make you go faster. Look, we've raced with the jet dragsters before.
Big congratulations to the track as well for allowing everyone to go on the track afterwards.
Yeah,
at
that
the
was
end of it.
always
It's-
cool.
It is so
They
much
love-
fun.
yeah.
I always love putting my feet in the beams.
Yeah,
I said, this is pre-stage, right? I've shown him every year. He's like, okay, Dad, I know now.
I just love seeing everyone break their thongs walking
Yeah,
across
that's
it, and then
pretty
you
It
know
was
they.
sticky,
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
groove.
always.
It was
Yeah.
hot. It was
Yeah.
hot.
You
Do
see
you-
people just get stuck and like, ugh.
Do you remember the race between Paul Eggleston and I can't remember who it was? Might have been John Craig, and it was after curfew, and they staged with their feet and had a bit of a running race. You were there because we were racing.
I think I'd have a vague recollection of that,
I
actually.
think we were in the finals as well, and we couldn't run.
So they had a foot race,
Yeah, they didn't. But,
pushing
but,
their cars. No, we've seen
Well,
that.
because Iggy was trying to convince them, let's go for reaction times.
It is good fun. Like you said, I was putting my feet in there. So see the top bowl comes on, then the second one. I said, this is where the start line is. You know what? But like that needs to be. That's not clear to people.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
But when you're down there and you put in your feet, everyone was doing it. After a while, you see the top bowls that go like this because everyone's putting their feet in there. But it's good fun.
That whole science of the, staging, the rollout, yeah, you're right. That should be explained.
Yeah,
I
because
mean-
then, I don't think many would know. There used to be some races that liked doing it and you could see, but deep stage,
Yeah.
I don't see many races actually go into deep stage. Now, I think maybe, is it a gentleman's agreement type thing? Is it out of courtesy that people don't? I don't know, but we just don't see it as much anymore.
Nah, I think it's just, not many people even know that you're allowed to do it.
I
Neil
haven't
Scott
se-
was...
yeah, he used to deep all
Yeah.
the time. I haven't seen a deep for a long, long time. I cannot remember the last time I saw a deep
the
stage.
courtesy part is writing it on your windscreen so that
So the starter.
It's the starter, yeah.
So the starter knows
So
you're
the
going to do
starter
it.
knows, yeah.
Yes, because I suppose you need to move into that fast, because if they go full stage, okay, there's your click of the button. You'd have to stage first.
What would happen there if is that a triple bulb? Anyway.
On that note, we'll bring this one to an end. Craig, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Michelle, thank you for joining us,
Thank
and
you very
congratulations. We're going to have a nice photo now. Simon, thank you for coming in as well.
Congratulations
And-
on leaving the house.
And I hope we see you on the 6th. Bring the coal down. Bring the kids down.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
It's
anyway.
a family event. It always gets promoted.
It's a lovely day out.
Before we go, Nicholas will be upset if I don't tell the world that
An update.
he took his half-scale 32 Ford Roadster for its first official drive.
Yes.
Test
Oh,
drive.
wicked.
And he did. I don't know if you remember back in the day when I was building the Cortina and we were doing donuts with the jerry can and a hose stuck in it going to the fuel. Yeah, you do. So it's much in the same manner, It's unfinished, but it's sort of got brakes.
Congratulations, Nicholas. That's great to hear. And Peter,
That's
I hope
awesome.
you're taking notes. So because that's how young brothers learn. They learn quicker because they learn from the mistakes the bigger brother makes.
He's at home doing videos with his mum.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
launching his own YouTube channel, Peter Built.
I like that.
I love a good
like
pun.
it. All right. Well, look, thanks for joining us. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. We'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. Take care.
Thank
See
you.
yous.